Hello and welcome back to Point to Play Games for more Whispers of a Machine. So the last time we walked through, found this crime scene, and by found I mean we're immediately brought to it. Did some breaking and entering in the name of police business. Found an interesting key within the ventilation of a dormitory. And we've been talking to our good friend Alfred here, who, though he looks like his hand has been chopped off, is actually just currently still keeping just his dried friend's blood on his hands. So I was thinking, because we can't go to Nordson, maybe we can combine some of these, or maybe we can show some of them to Alfred to get him to respond. So let's just try and combine some stuff.
I don't see how those things work together.
Well, you and me both. I just figured I'd try. How about we do this?
Afraid not.
Oh
I
no.
don't recognize the handwriting.
I'm sorry, I've accidentally skipped the part where he asks if people note the note, know the note, if he knows what he's looking at. But first, I really need to remember I gotta turn on my biometric scanner so that I can connect up to him and just read his, his vitals. So let's try that again.
Do you know who wrote this note to Carl?
Afraid not. I don't recognize the handwriting.
Nope, still just anxious. What about this photo?
Have a look at this picture. Do you know who the woman is?
Yeah, that's just some old girlfriend of Carl's from ages ago.
Is that so? It doesn't look that old.
That's
At
an
least Carl looks
anomaly.
about the same.
Guess the guy aged well. Any other questions?
Okay, let me see. Be stern about it. He's clearly being dishonest. Try to appeal to his conscience. Logically explain that he has nothing to gain by being deceptive. I mean, I don't know. He seems genuinely like a half-decent fellow, unless he secretly killed his friend in some sort of weird love triangle. But, so let's try to appeal to his conscience.
Look, I got this job because I have great instincts, and I know that you were lying to me. Maybe you're doing it for a good reason, or to protect someone. But all I want is to catch Carl's murderer. If you had nothing to do with what happened, you need to come clean now, for both of your sakes.
I'm sorry. I gave him a promise. The lady in the photo, Carl is still seeing her. Well, was, I suppose.
Why wouldn't you tell me that from the beginning?
It was a secret. Carl said they would both get in trouble if anybody knew.
Why would they get into trouble? An affair?
I didn't ask, but yeah, it could be.
All right. Tell me everything you know about this woman.
Carl said she lived somewhere north of town, but that's all I know.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay.
I
Okay,
think I'm
interesting.
almost done here. I should just talk to the constable before I go.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. This mystery woman, and I wasn't really thinking in the, before about the fact that we can drag these things to people and have them look at stuff, and I really need to remember to turn on the biometric scanner before talking to literally anyone, just in case. But just for the sake of expediency, let's go talk to the constable or the policeman or whatever they want to call him.
Hey, I think I'm done here.
Oh, okay. Mind sharing your findings?
It seems like the murder could be tied to a secret relationship Carl had with a woman. But I'm leaving all options open.
Sounds reasonable. Do you have a lead to follow up on?
Yes, I have reason to believe that Carl recently passed through an area with saffron plants somewhere in Nordsund. Maybe I can correlate that with Carl's movements to the north of town when seeing that woman.
Good. Meanwhile, we'll transport the body to the morgue and have an autopsy performed as soon as possible. Do you want us to keep the area sealed off?
No need. I'm done here and won't come back. You can let the men get back to work.
Very well. I'll let them know.
By the way, how do I get to the police station from here?
Just head straight east outside. You'll see it.
Got it. See you later.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, and thinking about it, I guess Carl was in a love triangle, but I guess it wasn't with Alfred. Batman's butler over here, who has seen better days, and again, still looks like his arm's been cut off. But I guess now we can go to Nordsund. Well, this is very futuristic looking. We have worker, policeman. Is this just the same guy? We have an elevator. There's a museum in the town square. This is very, very, very like post-apocalyptic, futuristic type of appearance here, including with the I don't know, Chinese, Japanese. These letters. I mean, every dystopian location needs to have these, right? It's kind of like a prerequisite. So actually, I want to check out the forensic scanner. Anything interesting? As to be expected. I guess not. Okay, I don't know. I guess let's talk to these people real quick, and then we'll just sort of walk around. Oh, remember the biometric scanner. All right, let's talk to our pal here.
Hey, what's happening here?
Bit of an electrical problem with some fallen power lines. It's being taken care of, but it'll be a while.
So I can't enter the museum?
Well, you can, but only if electrocution is something you enjoy during working hours.
Wow. Let me see. Will there also be incineration? I prefer my electrocutions to be followed by intense burning. I mean, that's only moderately dark. What caused it? Did someone mess up, or was there some kind of environmental damage? Or electrocution, that's funny. So when can you have this fixed? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of feeling this like, you know, like sarcastic kind of response.
Incineration? I prefer my electrocutions to be followed by intense burning.
You'll be nice and crisp, all right. Jokes aside, come back tomorrow. By then, the museum should be available.
All right, thanks.
I mean, that was quite the 180, going from you know, ha 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 to, yeah, but really, get the hell out of here, basically.
Hello, Deputy. What are you guarding?
The residence of the first murder victim. The commissary told me to direct you to his office before going upstairs.
I see. I'll go find him and come back later then.
Sounds good, Agent.
Okay, so I guess it sounds like the best place to go first is to the maybe to the police station, because it feels like that'll unlock everywhere that we can go. So I think he said straight west out of here, if I remember right. Let's just turn off the biometric scanner real quick. Oh my. Well, this is very unexpected, and apparently I'm going west to go east. Well, I mean, without any other real direction, unless I've completely forgotten where the police office is, we'll just have to... Oop, apparently double-clicking goes faster.
All right, so this is the town square. That building with the emblem must be the police station.
Cool, that's great. So we went west to go east to then make it to where I was trying to get to in the first place. I mean, I guess that works out. Let me see, just out of curiosity. I feel like I have to do this everywhere we go, and if I don't, I feel like I'll have failed miserably as a detective. Okay, so we got the town entrance, we have a school, a clinic, and the police station. Well, I want to check out the sculpture
Nice and shiny.
first.
I can even see my reflection in it.
Well, I mean, that's something. I mean, like I said, I think we should really go to the police station so that we can, you know, just get access to everywhere and see if they have anything interesting
I'm
to say.
surprised the Bureau got their thumb out of their ass. It's not like they could find Nordson on a map.
I, for one, am grateful for their help. From what I hear, the person they sent is young, but quite capable.
Optimistic as always, eh, Kurt? I guess we'll see. Agent Anglin, we've been expecting you.
Councilwoman, I was told you'd be my bureau contact here.
That's correct. I'm Stina Ruth, and this here is Kurt Anderson, police commissary.
Welcome, Agent. Enjoy your trip to the middle of nowhere?
It was a bit bumpy, and way longer than I expected.
Yeah, that train has seen better days. You'll find your luggage in your quarters, just through the door behind me.
Thanks. I'll check it out later.
So, you were probably confused as hell when we sent you straight to a crime scene, right?
Kind of. I thought I was supposed to investigate a murder from last week.
You were, but unfortunately a second killing required your urgent attention. I assume there is some bureau procedures before I brief Agent England about the situation?
Yes. Why don't you head to your office, and I'll send this youngling on her merry way when we're done.
Very well. It was a pleasure to meet you, Agent.
Likewise. I'm a bit confused here. Who do I report to?
Only to me, as overseer of this district. The local police are at your disposal, since they're legally required to aid you in the investigation.
Got it. How would you like me to share my findings with you?
Face to face, in the evenings. The balcony inside the local canteen is a good place to meet.
Okay. I think I have what I need then. I'll go talk to the commissary.
Good. We'll catch up later.
Okay.
Oh, but I have to ask. Tell me, how was it for you?
What do you mean?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. We've both done it.
Oh, you mean the augmentation? The nanofluid injection?
Sticking to the boring scientific terms, aren't we? Back in my time, we used to just call it taking the blue. Come on, let this old lady live a little. Tell me, how was your first kiss with the blue?
I mean, that's an interesting way of putting it. Let me see. So I felt an amazing sense of belonging, like I was connected to everything and everyone around me. It was like a sudden rush, filling my limbs and body, followed by a sense of power and determination, or a sense of enlightenment and acute awareness washed over me, a crystal clear lucidity I had never felt before. I mean, I'm kind of liking the idea of this, sense of belonging. Let's check
I felt
that
an
out.
amazing sense of belonging. Like I was connected to everything and everyone around me.
I remember that moment like it was yesterday. What I wouldn't give to feel like that again. No side effects, I hope? We wouldn't want you to get compromised in dangerous situations.
Not yet, but I know what to look out for. Mild hallucinations, nightmares, burning sensations in the limbs, the occasional migraine. Things like that.
Yeah, that covers the usual suspects. All right, I think you're good to go then. We shouldn't keep the commissary waiting.
Okay, that's interesting. So we've met the councilwoman as well as the commissary. A very interesting set of characters. Well, I suppose that our two options are to go to his office or our quarters, so let's check out our quarters real quick, just because I kind of like the idea of seeing what we can see. Just investigating what we have. And of course, we have this tiny robot. I'm sure every location is equipped with it. A bed that looks like it was not made and someone just threw it together. A potted plant and a scarred chair here. Well, I mean, what's
Looks
this robot?
purely decorative.
Oh, well, that's great. We are also apparently next to an elevator, which, you know, every good room comes equipped with its own.
There's the bottle of molding resin here. Might be useful.
See, again, this is why. This is it. You check literally
Maybe
everywhere.
later. I'm not that hungry.
Okay, let's
Nice
click
big
on.
lemon. Small miracle to see it grow to that size under these conditions.
Well, that's shocking.
No, I'm not tired.
Okay. I mean, that seems to be everything here except for the elevator. I guess let's go to Anderson's office, then we'll check out that elevator. Well, this is
All right, Agent. Would you like me to brief you about the first murder?
a
Yes,
dingy
please.
location.
Maya Strand, 41 years old, the caretaker of the Nordson Museum. She was found by the janitor on the floor near the exhibits early last Wednesday. Just like Carl, she was stabbed. No witnesses, no evidence. Killer practically a ghost. No signs of a forced entry, so either the entrance was open or she let him in herself.
What about her residence? Anything out of the ordinary in there?
Nothing, as far as we could tell. But we left the place as we found it if you want to have a look. She lived upstairs from the museum.
Noted. The crime scene is no longer intact, though, correct?
Afraid so. The museum is important to Nordson, so we had the place cleaned out pretty quickly.
Okay, let me see. So, we can either be aggressive, or seemingly aggressive, assertive maybe you could put it. Right, but now that I'm here, I'll assume that you'll check with me before clearing out any future crime scenes. Sorry to hear that. I guess bureaucrats messing up police work isn't just a city problem, huh? Or exactly what kind of power does Town Hall have over the Nordson police? I mean, I don't know just how aggressive we're feeling. Like, I'm gonna make the assumption that the commissaire, or the commissary, is, commissar? I suppose he could be any of the three. I'm gonna make the assumption that they run at least an okay ship here. So, you know, bureaucrats, you know, gotta live with them, but, they're the worst.
Sorry to hear that. I guess bureaucrats messing up police work isn't just a city problem, huh?
You have no idea. Sometimes I feel like I'm spending half my time arguing with those fools.
One more thing. I'd like to see Maya's body, if that's possible.
Of course. We brought it out of the freezer this morning. You'll find it in the morgue, over at the clinic. Dr. Pearson, our physician, is awaiting your arrival.
Good. I'll head there when we're done.
Okay, so we're getting more and more stuff to talk about or ask about. We can ask the commissar some questions, so we might as well, right? Also, I do apologize for any like breathing you're hearing or anything like that. Sometime within the next week or so, I'll be getting a better microphone, just for the sake of, well, I guess myself every time I listen to the playback. I mean, you know, not to mention any of you who decide to join me other than the voices in my own head. So, let's talk to the commissary about Carl's murder.
What do you know about the murder in the locker room over at the workshop hall?
Not much. As you know, the murder happened shortly before you arrived, so I'm leaving the matter in your capable hands.
Alright, good to see he has very little of an idea of what's going on. That's good. I mean, sir, you look like you're a botanist, given what's in the background. Maybe you like plants? Any idea where we can find some saffron?
Do you know if saffron is grown anywhere in Nordsund?
I think so, yes. There should be someone in town with more information.
Well, that was absolutely useless, other than you saying that someone will know. I mean, I suppose let's ask about Maha.
Did you know Maya Strand?
Not at all. Museums aren't my cup of tea. I prefer to not dwell on the past.
I, of course, meant to say Maya. It's just personally, I suppose, M-A-J-A. I probably would have been Maja, if I was gonna say it out that way. But either way, I suppose, what do you know about Stina Ruth?
What's your opinion on Stina Ruth?
I respect her. She's a competent politician. She gets things done, unlike some of the other people on the council. Sure, she has a temper, and she's not the most tactful person, but she calls out bullshit when she sees it. When I'm right, she has my back, and when I'm wrong, well, she won't let me revel in my sweet ignorance for long.
A good bureaucrat? I don't believe it. She's obviously the one killing all these people. Alright, we'll ask about himself last. Let's talk about, Carl.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
I wouldn't say so. He and my son were playmates as children, but they grew apart in their teens. Haven't talked to Carl myself for many years.
Alright, I doubt you'll have any information, but what about this mystery woman? Ooh, so scandalous, I guess.
I'm looking for a young woman connected to the second victim, Carl.
All right. What do you know about her?
All I have is a picture of her that I found on Carl, but it's damaged and her face can't be clearly seen.
Tricky. If you had any kind of personal information, like an address, you could look her up in our records. They're in the drawers behind me.
Noted. I'll get back to you about this if I learn more.
Okay, I mean, that's something at least. And lastly, commissary, tell me about yourself.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Me? Oh, I've been doing this job for 15 years now. I took over when the previous commissary died. I'm married with 3 children. Anita, my youngest, is off studying science in the city now. We're counting the days to Christmas when she comes back to visit.
Alright, well, thank you for your time.
That's all I needed.
Very well.
You're an interesting fellow. Okay, so looking around, I have a greenhouse, a large book.
Looks like a logbook. Maybe Anderson records his daily work there.
Interesting.
I guess Anderson has a colleague.
Also interesting. And by interesting, I mean I have absolutely no idea, and that could not be helpful at all.
A small local greenhouse. A typical site in Nordson, it seems.
So I guess, I don't know, I guess they must keep plants like inside and around, since, you know, this place looks like just like a floating sort of city of metal. Maybe it's on a stick. I don't really know. I only vaguely remember what it looks like when we first pulled in on the train. We got books and some files.
A collection of what seems to be both fiction and books on law and social sciences. If that's all Anderson's, he's quite well read.
Okay.
Just lots of case files.
Alright. Well, I mean, I guess with that, we might as well go out to the lobby. And, let me see here. This is doorway. I wonder where this goes. Okay, so this is where we'd find jail cells if people were in them. I can only assume we'll come here later. And what about that elevator? I'm just curious. What is this? Now that we're in here, what is this?
Doesn't appear to be functional. There's not even a switch or anything.
Oh. Well, that's boring. Okay. Well, let's head back out to the lobby. Yeah, so looking at the time, looks like unfortunately we're going to have to be done for now. So thank you very much for joining me here at Point to Play Games. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you later.